What up, fam? Welcome back to 88-Bit Tech. I'm AJ, and today we are looking at some AliExpress cases that I'm really excited to review. For the most part, AliExpress has been not the place to go for PC cases, just because the shipping is extremely expensive. You're just better off getting stuff locally. However, recently AliExpress, I've discovered, has decided to release PC cases that are cheaper than what you can get on the used market here. So obviously you're getting them brand new and free shipping that arrives in less than a month. So it's actually really good. Hopefully the cases themselves are really good and it's something that I could use as a staple for my PC building and just get cases off there. This one does look actually really good, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look. And what we have here is an all-white fish tank PC case from Powertrain called the Illusionary Realm Matx case. I got it delivered to Sydney, Australia for $30 US. So I ordered this on the 17th of February. It is now the 17th of March, so it did take about a month to arrive. However, if you're constantly building PCs and you always need cases, this is something you can just kind of plan for the future. I already have a couple of cases, but I wanted to get a white case. But if this case is any good, I might start building this quite a lot. Well, let's check her out. Ooh, got some free zip ties, so that's an added bonus. Welcome to our shop. I guess it's a thank you card. It says, "Dear valued customer, thank you for purchasing our product. Your order has been handled and shipped as soon as you paid. When you receive the product, we'll be very happy if you can give us a positive product review and feedback. But if you're unsatisfied with any help, please contact with us firstly for help. Once again, thanks a lot for shopping at our store. Hope there will be a chance to serve you a nice buyer. Yours sincerely." It's a nice little touch, and we've got the styrofoam to protect the bubble wrap to protect the glass. You can see, there it is. And there you have it. Fish tank style case. Super light. Actually kind of much narrower than I thought it was going to be, but I'm sure it'll be able to fit plenty of GPUs. So it looks like you have just some grating on the front, on the top with some magnetic filter. Pardon the mess. As you can see, you've got a lot of builds going on right now. However, there's the case. Oh, looks like the glass has these screws on the glass to hold this one up front. It has some of the motherboard screws already installed. So this only fits Matx. Doesn't come with a fan. And it doesn't look like there's any ventilation except for the bottom. So there's the PSU ventilation and maybe let's just turn it upside down here. So we've got the PSU ventilation here on the bottom. And I guess the hard drive cage, which I don't think it actually comes with a hard drive cage, but it has those holes for ventilation too. If you're gonna put fans on the bottom of this thing, let's get a rope in and actually let's take a look at the front. So front I/O, you do get, it looks like one USB 3 and one USB 2. That doesn't sound half bad. And a 3.5mm jack. Alright, let's open up the back here. Okay, that came off pretty easily. Just one hand. And it is steel. Or no, I think it's steel. I don't think it's aluminum. But so what I might do is actually maybe cut some holes into the bottom back panel here, so that way when I put the fans on the bottom of this here, there will actually be some proper ventilation holes to pull in some air. Do they make metal hole punchers? I don't know. But let's see. Yep, so there's no hard drive cage, but you do get a USB 3, you do get your power connectors, your HD audio, and your USB 9-pin connector there as well. So there's not really a lot of room to work with back here, so we're going to have to see how cable management goes. But I do have a white build here, an AM5 white build with some fans that I'm going to throw in there. We're going to chuck this in there and just see how well this works out. The build is finished. I used a Jingyu B650M Pro MATX motherboard, so it's actually a bit smaller than your standard MATX board, since it only has 2 DDR5 slots on it. But you can see here, that's the build. And I actually ended up pairing it with a GTX 3070, so it's pretty beefy. The CPU is a Ryzen 5 7400F with 16 gigabytes of 5600 megatransfers per second RAM and dual channel, and we are using a 650 watt power supply that is not modular, so all the cables are there. And speaking of the cables and power supply, I found that the cable management on this was actually really easy. I had plenty of room to work with, and I just stuck the cables into the hard drive cage here. Unfortunately, that will obstruct airflow through the tiny hard drive holes at the bottom, because that's literally the only intake. We currently have this set up as an all exhaust system, and it is kicking off a lot of heat. However, it's staying well within normal ranges at about a 22 degree ambient temperature. I have reverse blade fans here. I've got some proper normal ones coming soon, but I have the reverse blade fans there kicking out as exhaust. So all the exhaust essentially is creating an intake through whatever it can intake from, which is literally just the holes on the bottom where the hard drive cage is supposed to go, and the PCIe slot covers are intaking from there as well. The PSU is completely blocking the ventilation from here, and access to the ventilation for the PSU shroud on the bottom is also blocked. So you're not getting in any air from this back side here. I actually really like the size of the case. I think it does look fairly decent for $30. This USB 3.0 is hooked up to an external hard drive with games, and it works just fine. It does hit around that 500 megabyte read and write speed, so more than enough for gaming using that front port. And the 2.0 also works just fine. 3.5 millimeter audio jack also works fine as well. A couple of notes to consider when purchasing the Powertrain Illusionary Realm MATX case. Definitely try to find, if you're going to use, well, you have to use MATX, or you can use ITX as well, but preferably MATX so you can fill out the case a bit more. Try to find a motherboard that has the graphics card at the top slot on the back of the case here. As you can see, this motherboard unfortunately kicks it down one because there's an M.2 slot here, which is unfortunate because now you have a lot less room to work with down here. This is a 3-slot card, so you might be able to fit a 15 millimeter like ultra slim fan below for intake. I am going to try that later on. I have one coming in from AliExpress. But if it was, you could definitely fit a 15 millimeter with fan if this was 1 slot up. You might even be able to fit in a standard 20 millimeter with fan. You can with a 2-slot. So I did initially plug this in. This is a RTX 2060. and I was able to fit both of these fans, these reverse blade 120 millimeter, 20 millimeter width fans underneath it, but it just hit it. So it was making some noise on this side because this graphics card on this end kind of does jut out a little bit, and it was hitting the fan, so I couldn't use it. However, if you find a motherboard where you can put it at the top, then you'd have no problem fitting two 120 millimeter fans below here as intake to help pull from those those 4 hard drive holes, and then put in a couple of fans as exhaust, and then you have a system that has somewhat okay airflow, I guess. I will say that, see these little holes here for the fans? These things do not fit standard fan screws. You need something smaller. So, and you can't screw from underneath, so you need longer screws. Fortunately, I have like a kit of something like this that I got off AliExpress, and I have these screws that are a bit thinner, and they will fit perfectly into those holes. So you can use this and screw in from the top, which will also make installation of the fans quite a lot easier. Highly recommend getting something like this. It's always good to have this around anyway, just so if you ever need screws, you can use this as a source to pull from. But you definitely need those in order to screw a fan at the bottom. Unfortunately, there's no holes on this side. Recommendation, maybe take it to like a Home Depot or like a local metalworking shop or something, just to get some holes milled into the bottom panel here to get more airflow. And then I think this PC would then be really, really good value. I mean, it already is a really good value. Like, I definitely can recommend it already. I did run a 1-hour stress test with the Heaven benchmark, and the CPU and GPU did stay around 80C at 100% utilization for the 3070 here. It was kicking off a lot of heat though, so it can definitely warm you up in the winter, and obviously higher ambient temperatures will affect the performance of this build. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it, and temperatures were well within normal ranges, and I tested it with a couple of games already, and temperatures were fine too. Sorry about that noise in the background. The missus has the air fryer cooking up some food, but overall, this was a fairly pleasant experience for me. I can see myself using this case a lot more in the future, especially with 2-slot GPUs, and with the right orientation of your PCIe slots, you're gonna be able to fit in more fans to make it fit better. But for $30 delivered, not having to go hunt for a used PC case and go get one delivered, that's an absolutely amazing price. And one benefit I do see this causing is competition within the local space with local retailers. So hopefully they'll drop prices for cases as well, and then you can still get local. But I did have to wait a month, but that's not a problem for me, especially since I do build and sell PCs quite a bit. So planning for the future and getting these cases in down the line is no problem for me. If you guys do have any questions regarding this case, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you like the video, please like the video, as it really does help the channel out. And if you want to subscribe to see more content that I release, click on my face and do so. But until then, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.